Buying a TV in 2025 feels a bit like dating in the digital age. Everyone looks perfect on paper. Stunning specs, dazzling displays, promises of AI-enhanced this and quantum that. But once you take one home, reality hits. Some are breathtaking. Others make you question every life choice leading up to that checkout button. So today, we're cutting through the noise to find the 6 best TVs of 2025. And more importantly, to understand why they deserve your attention. Not just because of specs, but because of the way they make you feel when you sit down, grab that remote, and let your world fade into the glow of the screen. Let's start at the top, the ultra-premium end of the market. 1. Samsung S95D OLED, the brightness beast. When you first see the Samsung S95D, your eyes almost flinch. This thing doesn't just display color, it throws it at you. Thanks to Samsung's new QD-OLED 2.0 panel, it's reportedly 30% brighter than last year's model. Imagine sunlight hitting a lake at noon. That's what HDR scenes look like on this TV. But what really makes the S95D shine, literally, is how it handles reflections. Samsung finally cracked the code with its new glare-free coating. It's like watching a movie outdoors at sunset and still seeing every detail. No mirror effect, no distraction, just pure immersion. Of course, it's not cheap. The 65-inch version sits around $3,400, which is, slightly more than your laptop, your phone, and your PS5 combined. But here's the kicker. This TV is as much a showpiece as it is a screen. If you're someone who loves hosting movie nights, showing off your setup, or simply wants the wow factor every time you walk into the room, the S95D delivers. It's cinematic power wrapped in futuristic design. Still, some say it's too bright. There's something ironically funny about needing sunglasses indoors because of your TV. 2. LG G4 OLED. The perfectionist's dream if. The Samsung is a wild sports car. The LG G4 OLED is a luxury sedan, smooth, refined, effortlessly classy. This model continues LG's legendary Gallery series design. So thin it looks like it's been painted on your wall. But where the G4 earns its crown is in color accuracy. LG's A11 AI processor uses pixel by pixel mapping to deliver near-perfect tone gradation. Translation? Skin tones look human, not like overcooked clay. Shadows stay detailed. Blacks are inky, not crushed. Gamers, you're in luck too. With HDMI, 2.1 ports, 144Hz refresh rate, and VRR, this TV turns your console into a mini IMAX. It's the closest thing you'll get to feeling inside your game without actually breaking your controller in excitement. And let's not ignore the sound. Dolby Atmos built in, and LG's AI Sound Pro that literally tailors audio to your room. If the Samsung S95D is built to dazzle guests, the LG G4 is made to satisfy purists. People who will pause a movie mid-scene just to admire the gradient in the sunset. You know who you are. 3. Sony A95L OLED, the master of realism, Sony. The brand that never screams, just whispers excellence. And with the Sony A95L, it's done something extraordinary. This TV doesn't try to outshine the competition. It just outfeels them. Powered by Sony's cognitive processor XR, it analyzes every frame the same way your brain processes sight, focusing on what naturally draws your attention. So when you're watching a close-up of an actor's face, you'll see the subtle flicker in their eyes, not the background noise. It's storytelling through precision. And that's what sets Sony apart. Its focus on emotional accuracy, not just visual sharpness. Gamers get their slice too. PlayStation 5 integration is flawless. It even auto-optimizes settings based on the game you launch. Sure, it's a bit pricey at around $3,000, but this is one of those TVs that makes you forget you're watching a screen. And if you've ever cried during a movie and blamed the writing, chances are Sony helped make that moment hit harder. 4. TCL QM8 Mini LED. The value king returns. If there's a TV that perfectly defines the phrase bang for your buck, it's this one. The TCL QM8 Mini LED. Here's what's crazy. This thing costs less than half of Samsung's flagship, but in most living rooms, you'd barely notice the difference. TCL has packed in over 2,000 local dimming zones, giving you deep blacks that almost rival OLED. And the peak brightness? 2400 nits. That's bright enough to make you squint during daylight scenes. In a good way, but the real win here is how TCL nailed HDR control. The dynamic contrast feels alive, not forced. You get cinematic highlights, rich shadows, and a color tone that feels more Hollywood studio than budget TV. Gamers haven't been forgotten either. The 144Hz refresh rate and VRR support make this thing a beast for PS5 and Xbox. You can finally say goodbye to motion blur during those late-night Call of Duty sessions. And sure, the build isn't as sleek as LG or Samsung, but when you realize it's around $1,200 for a 65-inch, you'll forgive it instantly. This TV proves something important. Innovation isn't always about luxury. Sometimes it's about accessibility. 5. Hisense U8N. The dark horse. You know that feeling when you discover a restaurant that looks average from the outside, but then you take one bite. And boom, it's your new favorite. That's the Hisense U8N in a nutshell. Hisense used to be the cheap option. Not anymore. This year's U8N punches so far above its weight that even reviewers are double-checking the price tag. With Mini LED Pro backlighting, quantum dots, and over 1,500 local dimming zones, this thing produces deep contrast and rich color that would have been unimaginable in a mid-range TV just 2 years ago. But what makes the U8N special is its balance. It's not trying too hard to be flashy, it just works. Fast Google TV interface, smooth motion, solid upscaling, and brightness levels that honestly embarrass some OLEDs in daylight. Hisense is finally proving something critics have been reluctant to admit. They're not the budget guys anymore. They're innovators. Price? Around $1 for 65 inches. That's insane value for what you're getting. If TCL is the king of affordability, Hisense is the quiet genius in the corner. The one who doesn't talk much, but when they do, everyone listens. Quick, real moment. The paradox of choice. Here's where things get tricky. When every brand is throwing specs, AI buzzwords, and ultra modes at you, how do you actually choose? Here's a little trick I've learned after years of testing. Forget the features for a second. Think about how you'll use it. If you watch movies at night in a dim room, OLED is your magic. If your living room is bright and full of reflections, Mini LED will be your hero. And if you're gaming, don't get caught up in marketing. Just check for VRR plus 120 Hz. Everything else is noise. Because sometimes the best TV isn't the most expensive one. It's the one that fits your world perfectly. 6. Amazon Fire TV Omni QLED Simplicity. Meets smart. This one's a bit of a surprise entry because Amazon's not exactly known for high-end visuals, but the Fire TV Omni QLED has quietly become one of the most loved smart TVs of the year. It's not here to win tech awards. It's here to make life easier. The setup takes minutes, the interface is buttery smooth, and voice control actually works, for once. The quantum dot panel offers surprisingly solid contrast and color for under $900, and the ambient experience mode turns it into digital art when you're not watching. Kind of like Samsung's The Frame, but at a fraction of the price. It's perfect for families, apartments, or anyone who wants a no-fuss, plug-and-play experience. You get Alexa, streaming apps, and auto-calibrated picture modes. No endless menu diving required. Now, it's not going to beat the LG G4 in deep blacks or the Sony A95L in realism, but it's realistic. And sometimes that's exactly what people need. A TV that just fits into your life. Honest insight why mid-range feels better in 2025. Here's something people rarely say out loud. Mid-range TVs are hitting a sweet spot because technology is maturing faster than ever. The gap between flagship and affordable has never been smaller. Brands have figured out how to use last year's premium tech in this year's mid-tier models, at half the cost. Think about it like smartphones. You no longer need the $100 iPhone Pro to get a great experience. The $600 version now does 95% of the same stuff. That's exactly where TVs are now. You're not missing out on quality, just on bragging rights. If you've made it this far, you already know, buying a TV in 2025 isn't about pixels or ports anymore. It's about identity. What kind of experience do you want to create? Do you want cinematic immersion that feels like a private theater? Or do you just want something reliable, something that melts into your daily life and quietly makes it better? Because the truth is there's no one best TV of 2025. There's only the best one for you. The hidden trap. The spec illusion. Let's start with a hard truth. TV companies have become experts at confusing you. You'll see words like Quantum HDR Pro Max AI plus 3D, and it sounds impressive, right? Except most of those terms mean absolutely nothing. Behind the fancy names are small software tweaks, sometimes helpful, often just marketing. Here's the reality. What truly matters comes down to 3 core pillars: contrast, color accuracy, and motion handling. That's it. If your TV nails those, everything else, AI upscaling, auto brightness, dynamic tone mapping, is just garnish. So next time you're scrolling through product pages, ignore the chaos. Ask these instead. Does it have full array local dimming or OLED level contrast? Can it hit 1000 plus nits for HDR scenes? Does it support HDMI 2.1 if I game? If yes, congratulations. You've already found something world-class. How to actually choose the right TV, the real-world guide. Let's strip away the hype. Imagine this. You walk into your living room, remote in hand. The light hits your wall just right. What matters most in that moment isn't the spec sheet. It's the feeling. So here's how to choose smartly in 2025. Room lighting. If your space is bright or you have lots of windows, go Mini LED like the TCL QM8 or Hisense U8N. They stay sharp even in daylight, dark room or movie nights. Go OLED. LG's G4 or Sony's A9-5L are unbeatable when the lights go out. Gamers, focus on input lag plus refresh rate. The TCL QM8 or LG G4's 144Hz refresh gives buttery, smooth motion. Smart home users. Amazon Fire TV Omni QLED integrates beautifully with Alexa and your devices. Design lovers. The LG G4 or Samsung S95D practically vanish into your wall, like art that moves. And here's a pro tip, few mention. Don't oversize your screen. Bigger isn't always better. Measure the viewing distance and multiply it by 0.84. That's your sweet spot. Because no one enjoys feeling like they're watching a football game from inside the player's helmet. Longevity. The silent deal breaker, here's something rarely talked about. TV aging, even the best panels degrade. OLEDs can experience image retention. Mini LEDs can dim unevenly over time. But that doesn't mean they're bad. It just means they're human, kind of. If you're worried about longevity, remember this: OLEDs are ideal if you vary your content and don't leave static images on screen for hours. Mini LEDs are safer for all-day TV, news and sports use. Most premium TVs today will easily last 7 to 10 years with proper care. That's longer than most people keep their phones or cars. And let's be honest, by 2030, we'll probably be watching holograms anyway. Real talk, let's take a step back. Because when you really think about it, a TV isn't just a gadget. It's where families gather after long days. It's where we cry during that final scene, laugh at our favorite sitcom, or cheer during the World Cup. It's a portal to stories, some that make us feel something, others that make us dream again. When I test TVs, that's what I look for. Not just color or clarity, but connection. Can this screen make you forget reality for a few moments and take you somewhere else? Because if it can, then it's already priceless. The big picture, 2025's TV revolution this year, something remarkable happened. Tech finally stopped feeling cold. We're seeing smarter AI calibration that adjusts to your room's lighting. We're seeing energy-efficient panels that consume less power without sacrificing brightness. And we're seeing designs that blend into home aesthetics instead of dominating them. TVs are evolving from devices to companions. And whether you go premium or mid-range, the fact that this much beauty and power is available for under $1,000 is honestly incredible. It's proof that technology is finally becoming democratized. What used to be luxury is now just living room standard. The truth about the best TVs of 2025. So here's the truth no company will ever admit. Every TV on this list, from the mighty Samsung S95D to the humble Amazon Omni QLED, can be the best. Because best isn't defined by a spec sheet. It's defined by you, your space, your habits, your budget. And when you find the one that feels right, not the most expensive, not the flashiest, but the one that fits your life, that's when you realize something powerful. Technology isn't about replacing humanity, it's about enhancing it. So next time you see a TV ad promising the future of entertainment, smile. Because the real future isn't in the screen, it's in how you use it. So now that you know the truth, which side are you on? Will you go all out with the cinematic kings like LG or Sony? Or will you join the rebellion and grab a mid-range monster that outperforms its price? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what you value most in a TV, performance, design, or price. Because at the end of the day, the best TV isn't the one with the highest nits or deepest blacks. It's the one that turns ordinary moments into unforgettable memories. Until next time, keep questioning the hype, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.